Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS, presented by Fisherman's Marine and Outdoor.
Welcome back, everyone. We're joined by Chris Bertopoulos, owner-operator of Chris B's Guide Service. This is his triple hook setup that he was just referring to. A 3-aught at the front, a 4-aught in the middle,
and a 3-aught in the back.
And a 3-aught in the back. You're running both hooks through the side of the bait like we would, and then you're using your front hook here as your tow hook, the one that actually controls everything. That's where your placement is. I mean, really, you can't say it enough, and we've done it for so many years here. If you have questions about that, how do you place those hooks correctly, just go to YouTube, literally, and say, herring rigging, and you're going to have about 1,000 videos, okay? It's super, super important that you have that hook, this front hook, placed correctly. Okay, so you've got your triple hook setup, which, looking at it closely, I'm kind of a big fan of that. I've had issues where I've lost fish after, of course, getting big, because I'm running a 2-hook setup, right? That third hook, I'm gonna have to tie some leaders. Okay, so you got 25-pound leader, and then you got it up to this goofy-looking Pro Troll that's been out now for the last handful, actually longer than most of us might think.
They've been around a long time.
But you single-handedly, and this is from Mr. Poole himself, made very popular here around here. You really like that flasher. That, and of course, you're fishing fish flash.
Well, now they make it with a light in it.
Yeah.
They made these for many, many years without the light. Now they're putting the light in it, which I like early in the season.
And it certainly gives it a kind of a weird, it's got a funky wobble to it. It definitely spins. Low light conditions, and with sun being high, a lighted flasher can be an advantage. I had them send me a whole bunch of those lights to replace them too, for good reason. But in front of that, pretty standard with your bumpers?
Pretty standard. You know, some guys are like a much longer bumper between. You know, with springers, I keep it, about 20 inches or so, 20-inch bumper, and go real heavy on your pound test, or whether you buy your titanium bumpers or whatever. That's just personal preference. I tie some 80-pound in there.
Gotcha.
And just with a simple clinch knot. Then about a 3.5-foot leader behind it.
About 3.5 foot, that was my next question. When you're fishing your baits, you're set up like you have. This is very standard, nothing rocket science here at all. Very simple to swap out from one style of flasher to the next. Positioning of your bait in relation to the bottom with spring Chinook in March. What's your theory?
Well, Columbia fish in particular are bottom huggers. Right. And so get it down there. You want your sinker down there on the bottom. Right. Check bottom all the time.
We call it running braille for a reason. Dropper length, do you play with it much?
I keep them pretty short in the spring. I'm running about a 14 to 16-inch dropper. Just so I can keep that thing down there. When I touch the bottom, I know that my flasher and my bait are real close to the bottom.
So what he's telling you right there, everyone, this is a very standard setup. There is really no rocket science here. Now, I'm not saying anything negative to Chris at all. It's what you do with what you have, and of course your baits, like we just referred to, and positioning them correctly. It's the little things that make the difference between being successful or not. My last question, and we're going to do this after we come back from this break, is how to make sure scent doesn't become a negative thing. This past week, I had shown how I thought I might help myself by changing line out, maybe a bumper of mono as opposed to the braid. I want to get Chris's opinion on that as well. We'll be right back.